Welcome back to Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover at our Advantage Center, LLH Healthcare Advantage Center, a podcast studio at Saban Field. Now pleased to be joined by Tamia Scott of Alabama women's basketball, a senior on this team as we're getting deeper into conference play. Just Tamia, how are you enjoying this first season with Alabama?
I'm enjoying it a lot. That doesn't really explain it in words, but it's been super fun, and I'm just glad I'm here. I'm super grateful for the opportunity every day.
Yeah, you had 3 seasons playing at Middle Tennessee, which we'll talk about as we go along, but you win the transfer portal, decided on Alabama. Has it kind of lived up to the expectations or what you would hope it would be like getting to play at this level?
It has, and I think that I wanted to win. That's why I came here, and you see our record, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, the Crimson Tide got off to such a great start, 14-0 in non-conference play, and then picking it up in SEC play as well. Just what have been some of your favorite games, favorite moments you've had this year?
I think, honestly, as like conferences started, I came to play in the SEC. I think it's one of the best conferences that you can play in college. So honestly, just all of them. And, we're coming off 2 losses, but I think that it's really important to just from here, just grow. And I'm also enjoying that too, just learning from, our mistakes and just trying to be better as a team.
A couple weeks ago, a great win for the Crimson Tide against Kentucky. What made that such a special performance?
I think that the togetherness of our team and just how connected we were out there. We just had, people are saying flow state, using that. I think we just had flow state that game, and we just never let up.
And also the defense was really, really strong.
Yes.
Have you enjoyed I know a lot of people talk about your offense, over 1,000 points in your career, but have you enjoyed excelling on the defensive end of the floor?
For sure, and that's something that I've definitely had to work on coming here, and my coaches have pushed me, and I've, my coaches have pushed me and made me become a better defensive player, and I just appreciate that.
What are there any specific drills, anything you've really done, or is it kind of more effort, energy? How have you gotten better?
Well, Coach Christie, defense is just effort. So honestly, just pushing me to just try harder and be tougher and, just go for it.
We've seen that a lot this year. What makes the offense fun to play in?
I think that, Coach Kelly, he uses us and he tries to get the ball inside. And I think that Cody, even though we're missing her right now, she's a really big piece. And just our height also. And also just our bench. I think that our bench has contributed a lot. Our depth is something that we definitely didn't have as much of last year, I don't think. So just offensively, people finding their shots, I think that we have good drivers who can just drive and kick and just find people.
And a couple of great options have been Carly Weathers, Jessica Timmons. So when you see them scoring a lot of points, what does it look like to you? How much fun do you have watching them kind of do their thing?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Carly, she'll hit big threes. Jess, she makes huge plays. And then Diana, she's always getting to the basket and also just making hustle plays. So just seeing them, it just gives us energy. I think like all of us, and just makes me want to, find them. Also, if somebody's hot, the next possession we're finding them, and then that being reciprocated.
Have you always been a good shooter?
I have been. I think that at middle, I was a little bit bigger, I'd say. So I use my advantages a lot in the paint more. I didn't shoot as much, but I've always been a pretty decent shooter. Yeah.
Is that another thing you've noticed about playing at an SEC level as well? Maybe not as much space to shoot, or just the physicality of the guards you're going up against a little tougher?
Yeah, I think that you'll see that a lot in our game plans too. Just trying to find ways to get open shots, and then when we do have that good first one, we take it, because a lot of times it's harder to get into the paint against these bigger teams where it's just really physical in the paint.
So, again, you're in your senior season at Alabama, 3 years in Middle Tennessee, but let's go all the way back to where your journey began. First of all, tell us where you're from.
I am from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville, born and raised. What was it like growing up there?
It was a small town, and I say was because it's grown like so much since then. But, that's where all my family is, so I honestly just remember home as just growing up with my, family around and playing ball.
Who got you into basketball?
So I have a huge family, and all my brothers played sports, specifically basketball. They got into football too, but I was just always at games, always, watching my brothers play. So I just wanted to play and never stopped.
How competitive were those games with your brothers?
Oh, they were really competitive. I remember, I can just remember the anxiety I had, like watching close games, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? It just always had me on the edge of my seat growing up. And they were huge competitors. You know, they wanted to win super bad. They weren't really just out there to have fun. They wanted to win.
Did they go on to college basketball, anything like that?
A few of them did. Nothing like pro, like JUCO, I think. Yeah.
That's great. That had to be a great influence for you as you continue to growing in your game, get into high school, and then all of a sudden you're getting recruited. How was the recruiting process first time around?
The recruiting process was a lot. I think that anybody could say that, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a great experience. A lot of people like wish for things like that, so it wasn't anything that I ever took for granted. It got a little overwhelming when it was time, like crunch time to really like choose, but it was just cool seeing what like everybody had to offer, and honestly, just seeing what coaches saw in me.
And coaches saw in you a lot of good things, making those scholarship offers, and you eventually make your decision on Middle Tennessee. Why'd you sign with the Blue Raiders out of high school?
Winning culture. I mean, that program is coached by a really good coach. He Shelbyville, he had great success all his life. So, just winning culture, and then family's a really big thing, and that also translates to Alabama too. I'm just a really big family person, so Middle just like screamed that to me when I visited them.
Yeah, Rick Insell, you're talking about the head coach's son, Matt, who we saw in the SEC at Ole Miss, his associate head coach. What'd you enjoy about playing for those guys? And I'm sure with Coach Rick Insell as well, a lot of funny sayings, things like that. We've heard a lot in the media.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was tough love. They definitely pushed me to be the best that I could be, and it was a good experience. I loved that team. We won. We won. That's what I remember. We won.
Yeah, how special were those championships, especially like the tournament championships and knowing you're going to the NCAA tournament with your ticket punch like that? How special was that time?
It was super exciting. My sophomore and junior year, I was more a part of it, I'd say, because my freshman year I didn't play that much. But my freshman year, it was really just exciting to see, where we could actually go, because it's my first year in college. So it was just like that whole year was just really exciting. And then me being more a part of it and more a part of the winning my sophomore and junior year, it just spoke to what I could do for my team and just the people around me.
3 years at Middle Tennessee, and then you make the decision to go in the transfer portal. What were you kind of looking for once you went in the portal?
I wanted to be developed, and I wanted to play at a higher level. I wanted to play against just like tough competition. And I wanted to win too. I mean, you're gonna hear me say this a lot. I'm just a winner. That's what I like to do. It's what I've done my whole life. So, I didn't want to go anywhere where I couldn't do that.
And then what made Alabama stand out during that process?
So they actually recruited me in high school just a little bit. My mom actually sent me like a Snapchat memory from like 5 years ago where like I had Alabama mail on my bed, but so that like prior contact, and then also Coach Christie, I mean, she screamed family as well in this whole process, and then she fought for me because there was a lot of schools like just out to get me, and she just made it known that she really wanted me, and I think that she was probably the coach that did that the most.
Family atmosphere, winning, and then also pro potential as well. Alabama sending 3 players to the WNBA draft. I mean, that had to be exciting to see that kind of success that this program is having, getting players to the next level, because that's one of your dreams as well.
Yes, that was the next thing I was going to say. I mean, you don't see that a lot, 3 draft picks. So there was no like iffy ands or buts if they could get me there, because we see what happened last season. That is the aspiration of mine, and we got to get going here to make that happen. But I definitely think that just with the coaches and then my teammates around me, we can make it happen.
Have you enjoyed getting to know those players, Zay Green, Sarah Ashley Barker, and then Aaliyah Nye? We've seen a lot of Sarah Ashley and Aaliyah back on campus this fall.
Yes, I've enjoyed them a lot. They, SA especially, she's been at practice and just like on our practice team. She's gave us a lot of good looks, and she just explains to us like in the huddles, as much as she's making us better, we're making her better too, and it's just cool to see, and also just the love that she has for this program. Like, she was like truly cared for.
And she says down the road she wants to be a coach. You can see it already, though. It sounds like, well, she's
Oh
doing
yeah,
practice.
for sure, for sure. I mean, if I didn't know her, I'd think she was a coach already. And then Aaliyah and I, we've kind of built like a friendship. So it's just cool to see, them coming back and wanting to come back to be just around this program again.
So again, you'll only have 1 year here at Alabama. How did the staff bring you in along with some of the other transfers or a freshman like Ace Austin and really bring you into being part of this Alabama women's basketball family?
I mean, it started the day I got here. I think that, just not even basketball speaking, but as soon as we got here, we all just checked in on each other. The coaches just like, they care a lot, and you can tell that. And then ever since day one, we've just been trying to, we're a young team, so we've just been trying to, I guess, like connect all the way and just really learn each other more and more. And it's a little bit harder when we have so many new people, and then the people from last year are trying to like blend in with us after losing like 3 big parts.
Oh, it's been great. It's all part of it, and you get to be one of the leaders on this team as well as a senior. What's it like getting to see Ace Austin as a freshman, get to play her first college basketball and kind of learn what that transition's like to big-time basketball?
My thing with Ace is like she looks like she's been here already. She plays like she's already been in college, and I think that Coach Christie had said to her a few weeks ago, like, you're a freshman, but there's no time to play like a freshman. And I think that she hasn't played like a freshman since she's got here. And it's just cool to see her growth, really everybody's growth. We talk about it in the huddles, and we say, like, we see your growth and how far you've came. But, just think about it as a bigger picture. People have really grown so much. And I think that as we continue to do that, we'll be even more great.
Does that make you excited for what's ahead in the next few weeks?
It does, yeah. And I think that, as unfortunate these 2 losses are, I think that we've grown a lot from it. And I think that this week, it just allows us to focus on ourselves a little bit more rather than, scouting these other teams, to really just find more in us and just be better from it.
What have you enjoyed about some of the home games and the fan atmosphere that's been built up here?
I love how the crowd is growing as well. We talk about our growth as players, but just seeing more and more people show up for us is super important to me. I think that the support definitely shows our success too. So it's just cool that more and more people are wanting to come and see what we have, and it's just really important for us to go out there every night and give them a reason to come back.
Had to be exciting, too. You're on the road at Auburn, hostile environment. Auburn makes a huge deal anytime to play Alabama, but you had Crimson Chaos right there behind one of the goals. That had to be great to see.
Yeah, I saw one of their stories. I think it was the Crimson Chaos story, but they were like headed to our game, and I was like, that is so cool. And then I see them, and they're making big noises, and the camera's on them. And then even after our loss, they're at our gate where our bus was and just like cheering us on, keeping our heads up. So that means a lot to me too. I just kind of gave them like a sign, like, I see you. I was bummed, but it's just really cool that, we have that support.
That's part of it here at Alabama. And kind of thinking of that as well, what have you enjoyed about maybe some of the non-basketball aspects of living here in Tuscaloosa, getting to be a student at Alabama?
I'd say, well, I mean, I can't not mention football. That's the biggest thing here. That was an experience for sure. Middle didn't have the biggest like football program, so coming here, it's just crazy to see. And I really haven't been the biggest football fan ever, but I kind of am now that I'm here.
We've got you for life, right?
Yeah, for sure. But besides football, I just honestly say my teammates, and also this kind of goes with basketball, but the culture here has definitely affected like me outside of basketball. It's just made me more grateful for everything around me and just the circumstances that I'm in.
What's been your focus in the classroom?
The focus is to graduate. That's really all I have to say about school, as bad as that sounds. But I just, get into class is just probably the most important thing for me right now is just showing up.
Yeah. Any major, anything specific you're working towards?
So I'm a studio art major. It was graphic design, but it's just super hard trying to figure all that out. So studio art, which encapsulates graphic design, and art history major. So not the funnest thing, but I definitely do like the more creative side of school. My teammates always make so much fun of me. They're like, you got that art major, like, they're always just making fun because I'm drawing and looking at artwork for my degree. But I love that as much as they talk about it. I'd rather be doing that than learning what they're learning.
Absolutely. So is like art class just your favorite growing up? And then you mentioned drawing. How much of that do you do in your spare time or anything like that?
I don't have too much spare time, but like when I did, I've always been a creative like kid growing up. I would always like make these things for like Valentine's Day and birthday gifts. I would just like create stuff. So I've always just had that like creative side. And then in high school, I took a graphic design class, like super intermediate. But ever since then, I've just kind of enjoyed just kind of that whole like graphic design world. So I brought that to college, and I think I still want to do that some. And also, there's just a lot of opportunities, especially when it comes to sports with like getting into graphics and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of opportunities ahead for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And I saw as well you do like Legos. Is that right?
I love Legos. Yeah, I love Legos. I think the latest Lego set I got, Carly actually got for me. We had like a team Secret Santa. She got me, I think it's orchids. So I can't wait to build those. I really do love Legos. I'll just listen to music and, build my set.
Yeah, why is that such a good stress reliever? Because we had Ty Simpson in here. He talked about the same thing. He works on Legos all the time just to relieve some stress.
I think just working with my hands and just not having to like look at a screen or anything, just like simply just tuning out and looking at directions and building something. And it's not like, it's something enjoyable. It's not like building a dresser or something. You got to really like figure this out. And then the outcome of it is just so cool. Like you can build anything with Legos. They have flowers, they have houses, they have the Eiffel Tower. It's just really interesting.
What's the project with that took the longest to build?
I'd say, well, actually, I will say I had an advent calendar Lego set. So it was 24 days. And every day you open up a small box and you build something, and it's all just like a Lego flower set. So I'd say that because like it took a month essentially.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that had to be fun to look at every day too.
Yeah.
As you went through Advent. Well, that's awesome. Well, again, that's a good snapshot of where you are, kind of away from the court, on the court, as we continue over these next few weeks of Alabama women's basketball season. What do you hope to see from your teammates to make sure this is a successful and winning season, getting this program where you want it to be?
I think just more grit. And we've seen a lot of that in games for maybe a quarter or a half, but I think as we just, go out through the rest of the season, I think that we need to show up with grit every quarter, every minute of the game, every play. And we've made an emphasis in that yesterday in practice. Like sometimes we have this mentality, it's just one possession, but that one possession builds. So I think that if we just, have grit in those one possessions, I think that we'll be unstoppable.
I know you're going to savor this experience getting to play for the Crimson Tide, but there is a pro career also on the horizon for you. Does that get you excited about what could be ahead and what your life may look like, say, in January 2027?
It does. I mean, I see SA and Zay, and then also Gianna. They post on TikTok sometimes about their, overseas career, and it's just cool seeing like what could be for me. And then also just Aaliyah and I and SA having the opportunities that they have is just so exciting. They've been talking about, the UA in Nashville that they've been playing in, and just stuff like that is just so cool to me. And it just shows me like what I could have. So, it encouraged me to work harder and just be the best that I can so I can get there.
Yeah, there's a great pro basketball world out there, but right now we're thrilled you're in Crimson playing for the Crimson Tide. To me, Scott, just thank you for the time, the insights you've given us here on Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, and all the best. We're going to be rooting you on. Roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.